All right, recording has been started. So then officially welcome to another technical steering committee meeting. This week we are discussing GEP number 68, I think, no, 63, the Diki extension. And yeah, there was already a lot of discussion happening on the pull request. So are there any remaining open topics that we should discuss here on this round? Any questions, any feedback? I have taken a look this morning again. Had some minor hits for the yeah for some of the sentences. I think did um, one question that I had was that you were writing that the outputs are not deleted when the respective resource by compliance can report output removed from the cluster. For example, when the output is pushed to, I don't know, let's say Postgres, you wouldn't delete it there.
Yes, that is the plan, since normally compliance reports need to have some kind of audit trace, need to be persistent, and at the one side, we don't want to also have the permissions of the report exporter to delete stuff on a configured database, but also we want them to be persistent. Of course, we can talk about having such a feature, maybe to be configurable in the report exporter if the given output the report would be stored or not. But for the initial implementation, I think this is the most, how should they put it, the case that users would want to be the reports to not be removed.
And I think it fits right into the scope because we want Diki to only pass on the information that it has generated, and then the users could, on their own, configure the persistency and the storage that they want to utilize to have the reports. So
yes, and we also do not want the users to have their clusters filled with compliance scans. We want for them to create one, to see the results, and then delete it. When they delete it, we have cleanup for the if there are any leftover jobs and other resources connected with them, but not the reports themselves.
Okay, that makes sense. I think this reasoning was not mentioned in the document, so maybe you could edit that for future readers.
Okay, I will note that.
Yeah, and similar direction, I also didn't find a clear answer to that, why the jobs are not executed in the target cluster, but in the seed cluster.
Well, in the future, we want to have also the possibility to configure some kind of global persistency, maybe on a seed level or something else, where we wouldn't want the users to have the permissions for that persistency, and we wouldn't want, of course, to have access to it. So these credentials would be in the control plane as the job would be there.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds also reasonable, I think. But yeah, this was also not very explained.
But there is also the possibility to deploy the Diki operator and have the jobs run in the same exact cluster, so it's not out of.
Yeah, it is possible for it to happen, but for now the vision is to be in the control plane. Also, a note is that if it is in the control plane, we would be able to run Diki for workerless shoots. Not that there would be some kind of report that would be useful, but if there are scans that do not check pods or notes or other search resources, it would be useful.
True. Yeah. Okay, that's a good argument. I mean, in the end, if the user wants to deploy it on their own, they can always do it, right? They don't have to use the extension. The value from the extension comes probably then with a better integration in the future, what you said, into some central code or whatever is envisioned there.
Yes, absolutely. They can use the operator.
Yeah. Okay. I think the rest of my comments were just minor formulation aspects, so I think they would otherwise be fine. Any other questions or feedback?
Yeah, just so one thing just to clarify, I think we had a discussion about that, about the versioning things of the rule sets and so on. So my understanding is that in the initial scope, we kind of, yeah, we don't solve that problem. So we don't introduce a Diki profile or something like that, but we will afterwards, because we have basically the same problem with Falco and also with the traffic and the Envoy proxy extensions. We come to a joint decision how to solve that, how to provide an API similar to Cloud Profile to figure out which versions are available and which versions can be used also for Diki. Is that understanding correct?
Yes, the Diki extension would reuse, if such a solution is made, maybe something for the add-on story. The only note would be for the Diki operator, we can think in the direction of applying some kind of config map in the cluster for users that only apply the Diki operator, for them to be able to see which Russet versions and Diki versions are available.
Okay, makes sense.
My concerns were already addressed on the PR, I think, and most questions were clarified. So thank you for that already. The remaining point that I have on my list is about the Diki run or Diki operator talking to the garden cluster. I think there was also some remark by another person on the PR, but I didn't follow up on that discussion. Is this idea now discarded?
What exactly are you referencing? The extension on a seat to talk to the runtime cluster, or a Diki scan on the runtime cluster?
The Diki scan, for example, for reading the exact configuration of the shoot. I think
Okay.
there was something in the original version of the proposal.
Yeah, in the original versions, we wanted the CRDs to be in the virtual cluster, and that would be easier to target different shoots and even see the spec of them. But that was dropped due to concerns of high load on the virtual cluster. And we didn't want to have that directions for the add-ons as well. So we opted to just deploy it as a standard extension in the shoot control plane namespace. And as you mentioned, there are options to check the shoot spec. But Vladimir Nachev suggested that we can also use the cluster resource that is in the seed and not have some kind of talks with the virtual garden cluster. So when we implement also the rule set that checks the shoot spec, we would use the cluster resource for this.
Yeah, that sounds good. I would follow this.
Okay.
Cool.
So also from my side, all questions have been answered.
Think.
All right. Vladimir, anything from you?
No, basically, we did quite extensive review, couple of rounds on the PR level, so whatever I had, it was already addressed or shared in the PR. So from my side, my point of view, it looks fine already.
Yep. All right. Then I guess we don't need to prolong it any further. If there are no questions anymore, we can probably declare it as approved. So there are, I said, a few minor open PR comments that can be resolved, and then we can get it merged maybe this week. Yeah, have it closed then. That is.
Okay,
Nice.
thank you guys for the support and suggestions.
Yes.
Was a good one. Thanks for all the pre-work that was done on the PR for joining. And then we see you again next time. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.